Hey treasures, welcome back to my channel. So yes, we have some things to address. I am going to be nailless for a little bit. I'm doing my nails. The next time you guys see me, I will have my nails done because I cannot be nailless for a long time. It's weird to me. Like, this is weird. Also, I am going to be doing a story time. I'm sure you guys have read the title. I'm sure you guys are intrigued, but just like give me a couple seconds. I am going to be doing like book videos, like I've said to you guys in my goals video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will have it linked down below. And if you haven't seen the last video I did, which was like the premiere of the book club, that's going to be for this month and ending February 6th, then I will also have that linked down below and up here in like the icon. But aside from doing book videos, whatever, I'm still going to be doing my story times because I love story times. I love learning the tea. And yeah, I feel like it's like what you guys are subscribed to me for. So I'm going to continue to do those, obviously, but just like adding a little bit of sprinkle of other things, you know. Also, I am going to be doing like clothing hauls and adding that to my channel, like I said, but my idea for my clothing haul, I need to talk someone into doing it with me. So we'll see if that ever works for me, but hopefully I can talk them into doing it and you guys will see it soon. So anyways, I'm gonna be telling you guys the time that I was a good friend. I know, right? For once, I was a good friend. So if you guys want to learn about the time that my friend's man tried to hit on me, then let's carry on with the story. So I know I've told a story about this before where I said that Alexis, if you guys don't know who Alexis is, I will have that linked down below and you guys can listen to all about Alexis. But yeah, I know I had Alexis's men hit on me before. Honestly, it's just weird to me. I don't know why these guys hit on me. Like I said, if you guys don't know, just like a little bit of a backstory, me and Alexis's types were so different from each other. Like, the complete opposite of each other. And I mean, like, white and black, like, so different. And I mean, literally. So it was just, like, the fact that her guys would be hitting on me and I wouldn't obviously not be flirting. First of all, that's, like, my best friend's man. And second of all, like, they're not my type. So it's, like, I don't understand, like, but then it would just maybe goes to like the fact that maybe they could just tell like Alexis was like a little bit of a mess back when her and I were friends and I was a little bit more grounded and nicer. Respectful, I would say. So maybe that's why like people, they started to like me after. I don't really know. So this is not about Alexis. This is about a whole new friend. So for the sake of this video, we're gonna call her Mindy. Mindy was actually my sister's friends, and then her and I became friends and we became really, really good friends. And I feel like I've talked about her before in a video, I don't really know, but me and her became friends and she was the one that kind of showed me like to not take Tinder so seriously and to not pretty much be like, oh, just because like you're talking to a boy doesn't mean it has to lead to anything. Like, you could just be talking to a boy and it's just for fun. Like, you have fun. Like, you're young, have fun. And so she was the one who kind of like gave me that mindset. And so me and her had this entire like summer together and it was cool. It was cool. It was fun. I just said cool twice. Cool. So her and I had this like summer together where we were just like playing mans and going on double dates and stuff like that. And then we would like come home and we would like talk about it and like I loved it. When I first met her, she was dating somebody, and then obviously like as her and I got closer, I started to like learn more about her relationship, and she had been with this guy for like years, okay? And I started learning more about her relationship and I was like, ooh, like that's not healthy, like that's kind of toxic. And you know, it's so weird because like when you see relationships on the outside, never ever 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 say couples or goals. I've had this discussion before, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors or off camera or off Instagram. Like, you really don't know. But they looked like a good couple and they acted like it, but like the stuff that she would tell me, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know if it's just me, but I'm definitely a person that does not take well to my partner making me feel like shit. Partner makes me feel bad, bye-bye, because your partner's the one that's supposed to be there for you whenever you do feel like that and to like lift you up, you know, not bring you down. Because my partner makes me feel like shit, I'm pretty much out the door because I don't really take any type of disrespect, and like I know what I bring to the table and I know how I act whenever towards my partner, so I expect them to act that way towards me. And if we're in a fight, and obviously, you know, people are going to start to say like hurtful things when they're mad, but like I just think, no, we're adults. Like, step away, let's take a break, let's calm down, and then like still be respectful towards each other. I don't know, is that weird? And so she would be telling me some like pretty like fucked up shit that he would be saying to her, and I'm just like, what? Like, he seems so nice and like he's so like quiet, you know what I mean? And eventually they ended up breaking up, and then that's when her and I decided to have like this hoe type of summer. We didn't like go crazy like hoe wise, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I just mean like we just started to like be like going on dates like this. It was sick. So she broke up with him, but they were still living together, and it was like, okay, she'd be like, yeah, no, like we're broken up, whatever, but then she would still be sleeping with him, and I'm like, okay, sure, like, you know, get it, girl. But at the same time, you guys broke up for, you know, X amount of reasons, and like one of them was the fact that he was like so freaking rude and commented on like things that a male should never be commenting on, you know. And so I'm like, I don't necessarily think that's healthy. I think you should break away from that, but okay, you know, but like try and like let yourself like get over him, you know. And so towards the end of our summer, she ended up meeting this boy, and for the sake of this video, we're just gonna call him Truck. I don't know. So she ended up meeting Truck, and she really liked him. It just so happened Truck lived like down the street from her, and so he lived down the street, and you know, she started hanging out with Truck a lot, and like they were like hanging out, and it was like, cool, girl, get your fix. Like, lucky, like that's so convenient. He's like down the street. Like, she walked to him. It took 2 minutes. I mean, down the street, okay? And so one day, me and her are getting like less and less close, and like summer was pretty much almost over. And I think it was because I was starting to like not have much like respect for her, because it was like, yeah, we had like this cool, great summer together, and she kind of made me be like not so like strict on like the rules of like dating and meeting boys and all that, you know. But at the same time, like I still had my morals, and I still had like what I thought was like respectable, and like what I thought like a woman should still be, and like how you should still have like respect yourself and like have standards and stuff like that. And that seemed to be out the window for her. She was doing things, and I was just like, okay. I just think I'm not the type of person that, because you're my friend, takes away what I deem as wrong. Does that make sense? Because you're my friend, if you steal from a store, I'm still gonna think it's wrong, because just because you're my friend doesn't take away from like my values. So what she was doing, my morals, my values were still like, no, that's not right. That's super not right. So anyways, she ended up going and seeing Truck, and then she was in my house, and then her and I were supposed to like hang out. And so she ends up telling me, oh God, it's like, this is not my story to tell, but whatever. She comes to my house late, and I'm like, what happened? Like, you said you were done, like you're on your way. And she's like, oh yeah. So I ended up sleeping with blank, like her ex-boyfriend. And I was like, didn't you just come from Truck's house? And she tells me yes. And I'm like, so did you and Truck not like get your freak on? And she says, no, we did. Excuse me? So what? You're telling me that you went and you slept with Truck. Then you went home, and then you went and you slept with your ex-boyfriend a couple minutes after, because like I said, it takes 2 minutes for her to go home, right? She tells me yes. And as much as like it could make me like a bad person or like a bad friend, my respect for her went down, because as much as her ex-boyfriend, I wanted them to break up because I thought he was not right for her. Like, no one should be talking to you like that. He was still semi like a good person to her. Like, yes, he said disrespectful shit to her, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like the other stuff that he did for her, he was pretty much just like kind of well-rounded, you know? So wow, nobody deserves that. The way that he acted towards her or whatever, he did not deserve what she did. And I think till this day, he still doesn't know. Anyways, And I told her straight up, I was like, that's disgusting. And she was like, oh, I know I shouldn't have done it, but listing off what had happened and like how it all happened and stuff like that. And I was like, I get it, but like, you better not sleep with him again, because at this point, like, you already disrespected him so bad. Like, at this point, I'm thinking, you don't even deserve him, to be honest. At that point, we were kind of like, you know, not bumping heads, but our friendship started to like deteriorate a little bit because I was not a yes man at all. And I definitely told her about herself whenever I thought what she was doing was not right. And so weeks go by. And eventually, you know, summer's over in school, like I'm working at this time too, so, and she ends up moving out of with her ex-boyfriend, and she like lives far away from me now. And so our friendship is pretty much down the drain. You know, I lost respect for her, and I'm pretty sure she didn't like that she could tell that I lost respect for her, and she didn't like how honest I was. So our friendship was pretty much just down the drain at this point. So my school is downtown for me, and it took me about, I think, like an hour and like 40 sometimes to like get home and stuff like that, because I'd be taking like a bus and a train and the subway. So it took me a long time. And so one day I was coming back from school and I'm on the train and I'm just like on my phone, or I think I'm reading or something like that. And so I'm like looking down, and then I see somebody like with a big ass backpack like sit in the seat in front of me. And so I look up, and then I just like, you know, like I'm just like this, and I'm like glancing up, and then I'm like, I look up and I'm like, oh, it's Mindy's ex-boyfriend. And so he looks at me and he notices me and he's like, oh, hey, like, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. Like, how are you? And so him and I like start talking, and him and I are just like catching up, shooting the shit, you know? And so then he's obviously getting off the train too. And he's like, oh, do you want me to drive you home? And I was like, that would be great, because one, I know he's not a serial killer and think that it would have been a problem. And like, why wouldn't I like him to drive me home? Because like, I did not want to wait half an hour for the bus. So he starts driving me home, and then him and I are like talking. Like, we're just like talking, shooting the shit. It's not awkward at all. Like, it seems like him and I were friends. So we're like talking, and then he's like, oh, do you want to go here and like continue talking? Like, do you have to go home right away? And I'm like, no, I don't have to go home. And so me and him start talking, and then we go to this place that I know very well. And so he's like stops the car, and like him and I are talking. Okay. It sucked because it was like, obviously me and Mindy are no longer friends at this point, and me talking to him and hearing his side, it was just like, holy shit, man. It was like, there's this side, there's Mindy's side, there's her ex's side, and then there's the truth. And to be honest, it seemed like the truth was just in everything that they said. So like, yeah, he did this to her, but then hearing what she did to him and like hearing his side of their arguments and stuff like that, it was like, damn, you know? So him and I were talking, and we get into this topic of me talking about my friends and how their exes always like seem to like me. I actually have I have the videos with Alexis, don't get me wrong, but I have like another video that I could probably link down below for you guys, but I kind of stole my friend's man. That's like a whole other video. But anyways, so, and I tell him, and I'm like, I will not be with anybody that like was with my friend, especially like if you slept with them. Like, I just can't do it, because first of all, it's like, well, with Alexis, it was like, oh my God, no, you liked her. So we have nothing in common. Like, I can't be with you. Like, you slept with her, I can't be with you. But aside from that, it's like, even in general, even if it wasn't Alexis and it was just anybody of my friends, I just think that it's so messy, and I would not do that to my friend. Keep in mind now, Mandy and I were no longer friends, and I kind of would weigh the balance. Now that I'm older, I would weigh the balance of like what that ex friendship was like, because even if you were like a good best friend to me and we just fell off, let's just say because of like distance and all that stuff, and we just got really busy with like our own lives, then I would be like, okay, I'm never getting with your ex. But like, if me and you ended on completely bad terms, like you were a shitty person to me, and it's been like a long time, and I know me and you are never gonna be friends again, and I know you dated this guy like 6 years ago or something like that, and so like he shouldn't even matter to you anymore, then, and he was like a really, really good guy and like seemed to be like what I was looking for, then I would see what happened there. I don't know, let's have a discussion. Like, is that wrong? What do you guys think? Like, should you never date your friends' exes, even if you guys are no longer friends? Or is there a grace period where you're like, okay, it should be fine now? Let me know. Anyways, so I'm having this discussion to him, like, about how I don't date my friends' exes, and like how their ex-boyfriends like seem to like want me. Their boyfriends, sorry, seem to like want me, and it was like I just would never go there. Like, I value my friends too much. And he was like, oh, okay. And he's like, so how are you and Mindy? And I'm like, how are you and Mindy? And I'm discussing with him, you know, what happened in our friendship, and I was like, I just couldn't be friends with her anymore, and then we kind of just like fell off, and that was that. And he's like, oh yeah, I know what you mean. And he's telling me that they like barely even talk, and that for just like way too long, he thinks, and that it just, you know, it needed to be over. And I was like, okay, I feel what you're saying. And then he kind of like starts like leaning over more, like, no. I feel like I just had this discussion, you know, like with the blueprint, and I said, even if I wasn't friends with this girl anymore, I still don't think I'd go with her ex, because this was like back in the day, like a couple years ago. So the fact that like I said that before, because I was kind of starting to get the vibe, like I just happen to know when people are interested in me, and I see like the treasure like sparkle in their eye. So I just immediately like will like shut it down if I'm not interested, and I'll like say something like that I think is like off-putting, so like a guy wouldn't be interested in me anymore. But it didn't work. And so he was like, yeah, so like I know you guys aren't friends anymore. And I was like, well, I think I should be getting home now, because, you know, I have school tomorrow and I have to like go to work. So but like, yeah. I am the worst. Up, and he like starts the car, and we like start driving. He's like, oh, like me and you should like hang out. And I was like, honestly, like to be completely honest with you, I just like don't want to like start any beef. And unfortunately, like if me and you were to like hang out as friends, I still think that would look shady, and I don't want to be shady. I don't want to have any drama. I'm just gonna leave it at this. Like, but like, thank you. And he's like, okay, well, if you change your mind, like yeah, we'll see. And I'm like, so thank you. And I get out of the car, and then I have not talked to him since. I haven't talked to Mindy since. But yeah, that was the time that my friend's boyfriend tried to get with me, and it seems like a curse at this point. Like, oh god. I do have a story time coming up, probably like in like a couple months, because it's still way too fresh. That kind of goes again onto like this topic. But yeah, like I said, like it's gonna be like months from now, like when I'm over it. A lot of discussions coming up about this topic. So let me know your guys' opinions. Do you think it's wrong? Do you think if I did like him, because I didn't, like it's fine because you guys are no longer friends anymore, and like they'd been broken up for X amount of time, and she played him out. She freaking played him out so bad with the neighbor. On top of that too, like it was like I was realizing like how much of a good guy he was, and I was like, damn, like you did not deserve for her to like sleep with two guys in the same day, in the same hour type of shit, you know? And it was like I wanted to tell, because I'm like, you know, fuck that bitch, but I couldn't because, you know, girl code. But it was like, damn, like he's a genuinely good guy, and that was like the shadiest thing I've ever freaking heard in my life. So I wanted to tell him so bad, but I didn't, because I like girl code, and I did not tell him anything that would like make him hate her, because again, I don't want to be in drama. I'm never in drama. I'm not going to start drama either. I'm going to just keep those secrets to myself and hope that they come out some other way. But yeah, so anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. I cannot wait for you talk about the book club. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like I said before, it will be in the icon up above. And please, let's get to reading. I'm excited because, whoa, the amount that I have to talk about with this book. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. You can get me right.